Hello, welcome back, fam. So this week we're going to be talking about my amazing trip to Ghana. So definitely stay tuned until the end so I can tell you the best and the worst parts of my trip. And I can also tell you about how I was able to travel for the whole month for free, y'all, for free. So definitely stay tuned. Hey, oh, I love this song. Okay, so getting back to it, thank you for being here while I tell you about my experience in Ghana. So, I loved Ghana. So let me just tell you my rating. Hands down, out of a 10, I would give not Ghana probably like a 9, 9.5. And the only reason is because I had a little bit of like a bug situation going on by the last day. Um, so yeah, I'll tell you more about that in the health one video that you'll see in the next couple links. But basically, I loved Ghana. So number one, I love the people. Number two, I love the food. Number three, just colors. You know, things are very vibrant. This blazer. You like it? Drop a comment in the box, and I'll let you know who's my stylist. This was handcrafted and customized. Um, so even like things like this blazer, you can see how colorful and how festive it is. And going to places in Ghana, you would go to the grocery market, to the supermarket at 9 o'clock in the morning. The music's blasting like it's a party, and it feels like it. And it's not so much that it's a party like turn up, whatever, do the ratchet stuff, but it's kind of like a party of like life is so precious that let's enjoy it. And how do we do that? By having good, strong, flavorful food, by having beautiful, festive, loud colors, by being very hospitable and loud people, like just who we are, colorful people. I also really love the fact as an African American, you get to see indigenous African languages. So, for instance, one of the main languages, and let me actually, I have a couple of so actually some of the resources that I brought back, and I'll be telling you about this in other lessons, Chui, which is kind of, I won't say it's a national language. I don't want to be like controversial because there's a lot of different ethnicities and a lot of different languages, but definitely besides English, this is one of the majority languages spoken. And so I brought some of these back, and I definitely am dedicated to continue learning more about the local language so I can come and not just take. So definitely I loved seeing the fact that we had indigenous African ethnicities and tribes and culture and all these different things that sometimes we feel like we've lost through the transatlantic and all the last 400 years and enslavement and all those different things. But actually, no, as an African American, you have a home. And so I'll talk about that in another post, being African American in the motherland and then being a mixed ethnicity African American in the motherland. That's a whole other thing. And be sure to look out on the post for how to prepare when going to Ghana, because I definitely suggest that you have at least the basics of Chui or Ewe or Ga or some of those things depending on where you're going to go. So, but the people are just so sweet. I felt like, well, sweet, and then uh it's like your auntie, right? Like everybody will be like, I will beat you. And I love that because I want to beat you too. So, okay, sorry, my impression is kind of bad. But hearing I will beat you and people just being like, there's a common sense of socially acceptable things. There's a common sense of just like, black people, just like don't be doing things that will get you messed up. That's about it. And if you do, you might get beat. That's it. So I really love the fact that I felt like I was with my aunties, or like with my grandma, just being like, have some sense about things. Number one. So also what I loved about Ghana, I love the food. I'm really into it. I would definitely suggest that if you do not eat meat, then you are proactive about ways that you can be sure that you are able to sustain yourself. There are vegan and vegetarian options, but I'll say that definitely the staple is going to include goat. Definitely goat is there, chicken, less beef. Fish is pretty common. Crab, they have sometimes other forms of seafood they would have. But I definitely love the food, so much so that I made some, when I got home, I made some inquani. Oh, okay, I'm not even gonna try. Okay. But look at this clip. Come look. Come look. You take the go. Look at this. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but it's right for me. I love goat fufu and peanut stew so much, and was trying my hardest to make sure that I was eating it in a representative way that locals would be proud of, because they would straight up be like, "You will make me proud." And so one thing that I really loved is the feeling of a joie de vivre. I'm multilingual, y'all. You'll learn a lot about me. But I love the fact that people are just really bold, right? They will just say what they're thinking in a direct way, and it's not like some New York type, like, oh, people are rude, whatever the case. I love New Yorkers. People have told me that they thought I was from New York. I'm not from Oakland. But I just love the fact that people are direct and very quaint. And so that's one of the things that I really love about the people. So, okay. Best parts of Ghana. Number 1, people. Number 2, the food. Number 3, the scenery. Definitely. Worst parts of Ghana. It was really hot. It was really hot. And sometimes it was really challenging because if you, for instance, have an allergy to bugs or mosquitoes or any kind of thing like that, it's all bad for you. Definitely make sure that you have what you need to be able to avoid any kind of horrible infections you can get from that, because it's really hot. So I got a little bit of hookworm, just a little bit. It's not a big deal. So that was pretty something else. And, you know, being in California, we are pretty temperate. So we just don't have a lot of mosquitoes, let alone any kind of parasites like that. So it's not that that was the worst part of Ghana, but it was something that happened in Ghana that when I got back to California, I couldn't find any way to deal with it. It was like people had never had hookworms before. I'll share the whole debacle with you in another post, but that was really difficult. And I had to go through a whole bunch of like bush medicine, like homeopathic stuff, and I finally found some stuff that works. So definitely be sure to follow that video, and I'll tell you all about the whole journey and what ultimately helped. So again, the worst parts were sometimes the heat was a little bit unbearable, especially if you didn't have air conditioner, which there's pretty much air conditioner like everywhere. Number 2, the fact that you can get, you just have to watch out for parasites and stuff like that, which is totally fine. You have to get a number of vaccinations before you go, so it should be no problem. Number 3, sometimes the bathroom situation was pretty questionable. Like, I'm ethnically part Chinese, so the squatting I'm fine with. It's totally fine. Definitely remember to bring toilet paper, but sometimes it wasn't even just a squatting. The outside bathrooms, like if you're traveling at a gas station, would literally just be a slab on the ground, like a slab outside, and it stunk to high heaven because it was so hot. So I'd rather go in the bush. Like I'd rather go around the gas station and go in the foliage because, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So those were kind of the worst parts, I would say. There's a lot of economic movement going on, so sometimes a lot of the street vendors will be really persistent. So I got no problem with that. I got no problem with that. So I just be like, no, and shut it down. Sometimes some people found the bargaining to be a little bit difficult. Some other people didn't like. I love it. I find it a sport. They'd be like, are you African? Are you Nigerian? I'd be like, I'm Chinese, boo-boo. Okay, I got this. So, so I said those are some of the parts that were, I guess, a little bit less favorable. Like, if you happen to be hella hot and hella hungry and you hella did not want to bargain or have to deal with people, there's people all over. So just, find your ways that you can do your little woosah or center yourself before you go to any kind of market, because it's a developing nation, and it's a developing economy, which is developing pretty rapidly, might I say. But, yeah, so that. So, I hope that was enjoyable. That's my overall rating, and I will say that, I didn't say, the way that I was able to travel for free. Okay, so y'all, I'm a really resourceful person, and so I love to travel. I made it a point when I was younger that I have to travel internationally, and especially as a person of color, and especially a person of mixed ethnicity in the United States. I really want to recover parts that have been stolen, basically, and like almost erased throughout history. And I feel like if I don't do it, then I can't expect anybody else to do it for me. So I know that I have to go. So I promised that to myself at a young age. And so I found out about this opportunity through a colleague of mine, that is this great opportunity to travel with the State Department through a teacher's fellowship with a Fulbright. So basically, this is a partial Fulbright, which is this, old white guy basically who wanted to support international travel for students, mostly Americans going abroad. And the whole point is to be able to expose Americans to different parts of the international education, and also to be able to act as a form of kind of cultural exchange, so that you're going there, they're learning about you, and then this is the way that you engage in international education, I guess like one person at a time. And so I applied. I knew that I wanted to go to Ghana. It was the year of return. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I figure I work every single day, so I might as well, like, if I'm working every single day, I better be able to have something to show for it. So at first, I just started saving my own money and thought that I was just going to have to pay with my own money. And then finally, in about February, my colleague told me about this program. I applied, boom, immediately got in March, and then was doing like the kind of interview and intake processes in March, April, and May. And then we left in the beginning of June. The Fulbright Teacher Fellowship, I would definitely tell any teachers about. This was open to Oakland public education teachers and also to administrators that work within the district or the local district. But please do go ahead and make yourself available, especially teachers, because, we're so overworked and we're expected so much. And a lot of times we don't recognize that our continual development and our continual education is part of our professional development, and it's also part of us building our practice. So I would definitely say go ahead and look at the links in my description so you can find out more information about the Traveling Fulbright for teachers. If you have any questions, please do leave it in the comment box. And then definitely be sure to look out for the next video, which I'll be posting in the next coming week. So give me tips about things that you'd like to hear about, and I look forward to seeing you next. All right, y'all. Bye.